Now's the time to spring into savings on a new Mazda at Team Mazda. Right now, get 1.9% financing on the new 24 Mazda CX-5, named the #1 compact SUV. The time to save is now on your new Mazda at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda on Airline.
That would be concerning and maybe set a precedent moving forward.
If you have plans to be outside, you might hit a couple of these little passing showers.
A drug bust and a few arrests made. Look at what they hauled in here. We got to slice up a new one of those opens. We haven't been back in that studio in a minute.
We're still missing Johnny in that, too.
We are. And you know what? If we're going to do like a redo one of those, we should redo this shot. Is there something in this shot right here that is no longer there?
Where's Waldo, friends? Let's play.
Where's the kid? I mean, we got to get that updated, too.
Sure
it's going to be a minute. The USS Kid looking good right there, but yeah, getting a little refurb. We'll make things happen. Make some phone calls. Tell them you want to see some changes.
Yeah. That's what it's going to take. So there you have that. That on top of your mind as we get you going here on a Thursday. It's Friday Eve, and as you start Friday Eve, just know it is warm and muggy outside, but Steve is keeping his eyes on a number of things, including a possible severe weather threat.
Yeah, we've got lots to talk about. Near record heat, that severe weather threat tonight, and then more active weather it looks like next week. Wow. So let's try to get you through it here within a couple of minutes. We start you out with a live look outside, kind of a hazy sunrise over the capital city. You can see the sun shining through some of those clouds. That's our view brought to you by Our Lady of the Lake. 80 degrees in Baton Rouge. Looks like this is going to go down as our third straight morning with a record warm low temperature here, 77 near road, so anywhere from the mid 70s to around 80. Way too warm, way too humid, hot throughout today. Temperatures near 90 at noon. Now we can't rule out a stray shower this morning, but most of our daylight hours on Thursday should stay dry. A high up to 94. The record today, 95, set more than 100 years ago. We're going to be very close to that. But we are giving you a first alert to an upgraded severe weather threat near and north of the state line. This is primarily late tonight. It's now a 3 out of 5 enhanced risk of severe weather. And that black hatching you see, often you'll see that added onto the graphic when there might be the potential of a few strong tornadoes. In this instance, Storm Prediction Center has done that because they think there is more of a threat of some significant winds and some of the strongest storms. So we will track that closely. Now, we're not out of the woods here in southeast Louisiana. 2 out of 5 slight risk covering Metro Baton Rouge and much of our viewing area, but it is a greater threat near and north of the state line. Let's take a look at it. First off, we did see a couple of spotty showers overnight. We're mainly dry right now. Can't rule out a spotty shower this morning, but most of us stay dry. And into the afternoon, mainly dry. It's just going to be hot. But note by tonight, 9 o'clock, we're tracking a cluster of storms developing up to our north and northwest along cold front. That starts racing eastward, and that is our main concern for severe weather. And the models have been pretty steadfast in kind of pinpointing that threat a little bit north of Baton Rouge overnight into early Friday. That is 2 a.m., but we'll track it closely. Wouldn't take much of a deviation south to bring some of those storms into southeast Louisiana. Those continue eastward, but as the cool front moves in early Friday, still a few showers possible. Shouldn't be long after daybreak on Friday that the rains move on out. After that, turns into a pretty decent weekend. Now, still 89 for high tomorrow, but humidity trending lower. Low to mid 80s for high Saturday and Sunday, lows in the 60s, so it gets more comfortable. Mother's Day, most of it dry with a few showers returning late. We do, though, expect more rain early next week. And in fact, now the 7-day outlook from the Weather Prediction Center showing 3 to 5 inches of rain on average for much of the area. And they're also putting a 2 out of 4 slight risk of flooding up already for Monday. So we're going to have to track that closely. So we'll keep an eye on the storms tonight. The weekend, not bad. And then more storms by Monday. Not only some heavy rain, wouldn't be surprised if in the days ahead we get at least somewhat of a severe weather threat added in for Monday. Otherwise, you'll note at least a chance of rain through the end of next week, and warm, but not as warm as what we're seeing right now. Coming up on 7:07 with an update on your Thursday drive. Here's Johnny.
Have you done yard work yet, anybody? Last weekend, I did yard work and displaced a wasp nest. One of the worker bees followed me to work and is kind of creeping out on me here. That's he's looking right into the camera, and I'm sorry, guys. I had to do it. Anyway, All right, here's I-12 traffic going over to I-10. No problems with the eastbound side of 10. Westbound a little slow right past the overpass there at Essen as you approach the 1012. Very narrow lanes at the 1012. And then from the 1012 to downtown, still have an 18-wheeler stuck off the right shoulder near College Drive. Otherwise, traffic's being well behaved going toward that area. Our drive times are still showing some slower traffic coming out of Denham Springs from right before Pete's Highway to right around O'Neill and Millerville, but it's no longer all the way backed up to Jubin, and that's good news at 707. Hey, have you heard about the full and complete and total closure of I-12 eastbound? We're going to tell you that in just a couple of minutes, so stay with us. You'll want to know where and if that'll affect you. It is in Baton Rouge, and it is tomorrow. All right, 7:08, we have some other news headlines to get to, and Matt and Liz will do that right after a short break. We'll be back in 60.
.09 your time right now on a Thursday morning in South Louisiana and in Baton Rouge. Early this morning, BRPD already working another shooting investigation.
We sent you an alert about this to your phone early this morning. BRPD launching that investigation after they responded to a scene here. This is actually before 2 a.m. on North Foster Drive, not far from Winborn and Winnebago there. And we're told one person was injured.
Right, and what we're also learning is those injuries not life-threatening. So that's the great news there.
Yes.
Here's the thing. They don't know who pulled the trigger. This just got going, so they need your help. It's a phone call to Crime Stoppers at 344-STOP if you think you can help them out. Helping them out. That's what the East Baton Rouge School Board was doing over the last few days, right? With the public comment and the public meetings about the search for the next school superintendent. We've gotten beyond that now, Liz, and so now the search begins.
And that's why they're having a special board meeting tonight to take all of that compiled data from the community, and they're working to see a couple things here. What is that next step going to be? The process to hire a superintendent? Well, they're going to consider approving a firm or a consultant to manage that search here. They're going to officially approve Carla Powell, the president, to authorize that search, and a lot has to go into this. Remember, they want community input, so they're taking everything you said, the survey responses, hopefully getting that plan together by later this month.
Look at that time, 5 to 9, 4 hours.
Yeah, they've got a lot to tackle here as they work to weigh in those applications that are now open, that process. They're accepting them until June 7th.
Let's get you to the southern border. That's where apparently Louisiana's governor is going to be, Jeff Landry down there. Of course, we have Louisiana National Guard troops at the southern border, and the governor is going to be there later today. Yeah,
we expect him to get an update on that 90-day Operation Lone Star project, but also we're expecting an update on what he has to say.
Yeah, sure.
That's supposed to come in a virtual news conference right around 2:30 this afternoon. We'll have the latest for you on the later edition of 9 News Now and, of course, our later newscasts.
There could be, Liz, 2 different arguments about congressional maps in the state of Louisiana heading towards the Supreme Court. Got one from Attorney General, another from civil rights groups. But what is the Supreme Court going to do if they do anything?
We still don't know yet, right? Attorney General Liz Muriel says that she's going to take that charge to the U.S. Supreme Court, but it's unclear if they'll make a ruling before the November elections.
Yeah,
remember, the state election, the Secretary of State's office, they need to have something in place by May 15th.
Next week.
Yes. So what are we going to do to move forward for that congressional district? A lot to follow here. You can read up on the latest right there on the 9 News app.
The latest from FEMA. This is one of the agencies we lean on as we get ready and kind of go through hurricane season. Hope for the best, prepare for the worst, that kind of thing. They say they are kind of moving along, changing some of the things they do to better help us if that storm hits.
Yeah, we actually caught up with them at the Rotary Club there.
Sure
Tony
did,
Robinson, the FEMA regional administrator, he handles all things for us, right? Louisiana, Texas, Oklahoma. Well, he says some of those changes are actually going to include that application process. They're no longer going to require you to have your property deed as one of the forms that they need. They're willing to take a bill, paperwork that you can more readily accessible, and your email. Yeah, because when you're going through a disaster, chances are it's going to be hard to find that deed.
Meanwhile, I got the electric, I got the power bill, I got the gas bill, that kind of thing. And so please, simplify it in the middle of just absolute insanity. If you want to read up more about the story and the changes, you can do that right there while you're surfing around. Why don't you check in on? There's a lot of sports going on. We talked SEC softball tournament and SWAC and Southland Conference tournament. Did you see what the LSU golf team did? Women's golf team did.
These women, they're moving on. They're not done yet. They're advancing to the national championship. Look, we've been following these girls. They are just so impressive out there on the green.
Yeah.
And they're not done.
No, they're not. And so what they did, they actually came from a few strokes down at the regional tournament. They were over in College Station, Texas, to win this thing. They won the regional by like 3 strokes over TCU. Also, Ingrid Lindblad, the superstar, she's like the #1 rated amateur in the world. Won the title, individual title over there at the regional. So now what this means is the entire team moving on to nationals. That begins next weekend. It's out in California. So we'll see what they're able to do. But this has been a strong group of women for a number of years now. Not done with the golf.
Give them a follow on social media. They are so impressive here. Not done with construction and projects here. In fact, there's a celebration for that today, a ribbon cutting happening right around 9 this morning. If you live in the Sherwood Forest Corridor, you've seen some of those changes. That project starts from Choctaw, South Choctaw Drive to about LA 37, and they're getting together today to celebrate this milestone in just one project in the city of Baton Rouge.
Hey, construction. Speaking of, let's talk a little bit about it as we kind of bring you back up here. This is, Johnny, you've been focused on this because it's major for a good while now.
And it's still on target to be letting us ride on the new pavement in January. But that right there, I-12 East, will be temporarily closed tomorrow night, 10 p to 5 a.
5 in the morning.
While they take down, they take down that overpass on I-10. Bobby, I don't know if you can hot punch Traffic Max.
Do you know that Bobby's not here today?
Well then he can't hot punch.
Probably not going to do that.
Sorry, Bobby.
Bobby, if you're watching, happy birthday to you.
Bobby.
That's why it's a big birthday weekend.
Yeah, sure is.
Yes, indeed.
I love it.
So if that is your drive, just pay attention to it. Roll up the windows, make sure the AC's on.
Yeah, near record highs this afternoon. Then tonight we're tracking the storm potential, especially near north of the state line.
There you go. All that.
We'll see you back here in a few minutes.
If you're looking for the perfect companion for family fun and adventure, or wanting to find adventure beyond the ordinary, experience all that the Toyota Tundra has to offer. Save on your new Tundra right now at Team Toyota, I-12 at O'Neill.